With us now to talk about the prospect of peace is international relations expert, Dr. Yonatan Freeman. Thank you so much for being with me. How much weight are you giving to Claudine On's statement? I mean, she is a public figure. She's certainly relevant, but she is not the president or a lawmaker. But she's extending kind of an olive branch here and defending herself against critics. Is it important?
Yes, I think it's important. I think it's also important to realize that she might also be representing or really trying to exhibit what the own people of Lebanon are trying to say. And we can see that Lebanon is going through a lot of challenges. We know that explosion in different things that are causing Lebanon to try to find a way to improve daily life. And I think one of the ways that she's talking about is to connect to our neighbors, to connect to Israel. And I think that's something that it's true. It brings critics, but I think there are those who also support her.
We have this ongoing negotiation now, right? It's the first civilian dialogue in decades between Israel and Lebanon. It's happening inside Lebanese territory over a maritime border dispute. Do you think that perhaps any goodwill there could carry over?
Sure. I think that if we look at what's happening in recent times, our connection to different countries in the Muslim world, in the Arab world, different countries that want to get economic assistance from Israel, want links to Israel. So I think this negotiation that's dealing with exploring for oil and gas in the areas of Lebanon and Israel, I think that's something that could also bring forward more relations between two countries. And even Benjamin Netanyahu, Israel's prime minister, even hinted that that could really lead to such a future.
But what do you make then of Hezbollah? I mean, they're an independent terror militia. They have tens of thousands of high-grade missiles, thousands of them precision-guided, pointed at Tel Aviv. I mean, what do you do about the Hezbollah threat?
Well, I think that Hezbollah right now, especially after the events in Beirut, they're getting more and more weaker in terms of public opinion in Lebanon. I think more and more people are not afraid anymore to say that they don't want Hezbollah in there. They don't want Syria in there. They don't want Iran in there. And I think that by keeping these people on the run, this could cause those in Lebanon to try to see Israel as a positive, really, country in the region. And when we see pictures from Sudan, from the Emirates, from Bahrain, I think these are sort of pictures that also those in Lebanon, they also want to see there.
Lastly, I want to ask about some of the criteria here. I mean, Claudine Owen saying, we're open to peace, we can resolve the border issues, they're relatively minor, but we must address the issue of Palestinian refugees. There is no solution easy for that one.
Well, again, that's one thing that she's saying. I think it really could lead to some sort of negotiations, some sort of push for some sort of solution for this topic. But undoubtedly, we've seen with other countries like Sudan and others saying, listen, we're talking to Israel, but doesn't mean that we're going to give up on issues related to the Palestinians. So I think really what's going on right now in Lebanon is that Lebanese people are seeking solutions to their very, very big problems, and I think that Israel could really provide that.
Dr. Freeman, thank you so much for being with us and giving us your perspective on the show today.
Thank you very much.